Chapter 175. Solo Battle Against the 5 Strongest. Strange. Although this Kangchon isn't simple, there's no need for Master Teacher to have me personally receive him here, right? Could it be that Master Teacher is trying to take this person in? I just don't know what the outcome of his battle with Wuxia will be. Lin Feng looked at Kangchon's back, a hint of doubt appearing in his eyes. Swish. In the middle of the scorching world, Kangchon rode a long black blade and passed through the sky *******. The scorching hot air waves that were constantly erupting from the magma below burned the surrounding space to a twist up. That terrifying high temperature, if it was an ordinary Jiden stage cultivator, could not withstand it at all. It's not even simple to survive in this space alone, let alone arriving at the demon locking tower. The test of this level is indeed extraordinary. I'm afraid that not many people will be able to make it through. Kangchon scanned the surroundings with a vigilant expression, not daring to relax in the slightest, because he knew that, in the middle of this space, powerful Yuan stage demonic beasts would come out at any time. Not right. There's someone. Suddenly, Kangchon stopped on top of a huge boulder. His icy cold eyes shot out a stern light as he looked towards a dark red peak, and sneered, "Since you're here, why hide your head and tail, humph?" This was a sloping valley area, surrounded by several lone peaks. There were no green mountains and green water. There were only boulders that were burnt dark red by the scorching magma, and that one lone peak was also dark red. On top of one of the lone peaks, 5 powerful figures slowly appeared. They indifferently looked towards the sky. Each of them exuded an incomparably powerful aura. Some of them were arrogant and unordinary, some were ice-cold and silent, and some were gloomy and cold, but each of them was not simple. So strong. Every single one of them is stronger than Yuan. Kangchon was instantly shocked in his heart. Each of the 5 people that suddenly appeared was incomparably powerful. All of them were at the 9th level of the Jiden stage realm, and each of them was a 9 revolutions Jindan. Their strength was even more powerful than Yuan. "You are Kangchon?" one of them asked coldly. "So what if I am?" Kangchon frowned. These 5 people looked like they were coming from a bad place, but he hadn't offended anyone other than Wuxia. And since Wuxia had set up a formation at the demon locking tower, he shouldn't have sent anyone else here to intercept him. So who exactly had sent these 5 people? Kangchon's heart was puzzled, but his complexion was already full of vigilance. Facing 5 strong people on the subterranean dragon ranking, he didn't dare to underestimate them. "It's you who must die." That person heard. A matchless sword light ***** came, instantly cut through the void, directly in front of Kangchon. Like as if tearing the heaven and earth, the matchless sword chi storm directly engulfed Kangchon into it. Without any words, one of them directly launched an extermination against Kangchon. HMPH. Kangchon snorted coldly. The long black blade in his hand shot out a blazing light, clashing with the sword energy storm. Rumble, a heaven and earth roared. The blazing saber erupted with radiant light, and the incoming person was sent flying by Kangchon's saber. Although he wasn't injured, it also shocked the other 4 people who hadn't made a move. It was important to know that although the person who had just made a move was the weakest of the 4, his strength was also stronger than Yuan, and was ranked 17th on the subterranean dragon ranking. But he was actually sent flying by Kangchon with a single slash of his blade. "Do it together," one of them immediately shouted when he saw this scene, and then the 5 of them joined hands and killed Kangchon. Instantly, the surrounding space was filled with explosive and terrifying energy fluctuations. The hot magma tumbled continuously. Several lone peaks were like sharp arrows plunging straight into the sea of fire, and the 6 figures were in a life and death duel above the tumbling magma and the lone peaks. This is a peak duel. Each person is the submerged dragon list on the Supreme Genius, the strength of the strength, enough to dominate the young generation. Kangchon's heart was both shocked and puzzled. who in the world had so much energy to be able to make 5 powerful people on the potential dragon ranking join forces to kill him? If it was Wuxia, the other party would indeed have this kind of ability, but Wuxia had already set up a formation at the demon locking tower. Surely he wouldn't utilize such a despicable means to intercept him. It wasn't something a powerhouse ranked second on the submerged dragon ranking could do. Boom, mountains and mountains of energy were surging. The terrifying power destroyed the surrounding lone peaks, and even the aftershocks stirred the magma flowing below and rolled it up, forming a scorching wave of fire that danced in the sky. Broken sky. Kang Chon's eyes shot out with a cold light. He slashed out with a knife. The terrifying true essence instantly erupted. Above the black long knife, a blazing light was immediately shot out. The 100 feet long knife cut through the sky and a splendid arc, like a divine punishment towards the opposite 5 people to kill. This blade was incomparably gorgeous, and even the sky was torn out of a huge opening, making people look at it with fear. The 5 powerhouses on the potential dragon ranking were instantly shocked, and each of them stared in anticipation, fueling their power to the extreme. Facing the 5 strong men on the potential dragon ranking, Kang Chon didn't dare to be the slightest bit careless. He had already exerted his strongest power, making sure to kill 1 or 2 of them in a short period of time, or else he would be caught in a bitter battle. However, the 5 people on the opposite side were equally clear about Kang Chon's mind. They joined forces to strike their strongest attacks to ward off Kang Chon's surefire slash. Blue sky strike, whitening shocking wave, blazing sun palm. The 5 of them struck out at the same time. Huge true essence rushed up into the sky, swirling in the surrounding space, each of them striking out their strongest attacks, which then converged together, like countless waves of scorching fire, combining in the sky to form a terrifying fire dragon that engulfed towards Kang Chon. The 100 feet long blade was instantly engulfed by the fire dragon and disappeared. Kang Chon was instantly startled. His body retreated at extreme speed. Then the fire dragon was incomparably fast, and instantly bullied its way up, opening its mouth wide and pouncing. What a powerful force! Even Yuanying stage powerhouses are just like that. Kang Chon stopped on top of a lone peak, his eyes staring tightly at the pouncing fire dragon. His entire essence was at its peak. His heart was like a blade as he calmly contemplated his next strike. Roar! The fire dragon roared, like a sea of fire coming over the sky. The entire sky was a fiery red color. Kang Chon's eyes immediately shot out a stern light. The long black blade in his hand slashed out several times in a row. Each blade blossomed into an unrivaled blade aura, ruthlessly killing the fire dragon. The fire dragon wandered in the sky, dodging in all directions, before swooping down sharply, heaven escaping hand. As the fire dragon approached the lone peak, where Kang Chon was located, he let out a loud roar. Then space trembled, from which a huge golden palm of a small mountain stretched out, suppressing it towards the fire dragon. What is this? The 5 powerhouses of the subterranean dragon ranking immediately uttered out in shock. The huge golden palm came down across the sky, carrying with it unrivaled energy fluctuations, instantly grabbing onto the fire dragon that was swooping down at breakneck speed. Roar, roar, roar! The fire dragon twisted its body, constantly roaring in rage, struggling to get out of the grip of the golden giant palm. However, was the heaven-tackling hand not to be broken free so easily? It was destined to waste its strength. Die for me! Kang Chon's eyes shed an icy cold light. He controlled the heaven-escaping hand to grab the fire dragon, then ruthlessly flung it to the side of the lone peak. A shocking explosion shook the entire space, surrounded by a volatile energy airflow. Kang Chon and the 5 powerhouses on the subterranean dragon ranking were all sent flying out, stopping on top of a lonely peak. "Who the hell are you guys? Why did you find me?" Kang Chon said with cold eyes. He didn't want to fight in such an unexplained manner. It wasn't his character. The 5 people remained silent, only staring at Kang Chon closely, a cautious and grave light appearing in each of their eyes. What a strong strength, with your strength being enough to be ranked in the top 10 of the Subterranean Dragon ranking. It's no wonder that someone has united the 5 of us to intercept you. Hee. One of them laughed out coldly, and then killed again. The terrifying sword light was like a poisonous snake, blocking all of Kang Chon's retreating paths. The other 4 were also not willing to lag behind, cooperating to kill Kang Chon. You guys are looking for death. Kang Chon was furious. At this time, he didn't care who sent the other party, completely exploding his full strength. A terrifying tornado was formed around his entire body, which then wreaked havoc. Kang Chon braced up his defense, holding a long black sword, in order to hard block the other 4 people's attacks. He strongly killed the sinister swordsman who had just spoken, his gaze shooting out icy killing intent. Such a strong scene scared that swordsman, who showed fear and panickedly called out to the other 4 to rescue him. Kill. However, Kang Chon ignored the attacks of the other 4 and still killed strongly. His heart was like a blade, and the long black blade in his hand became even colder, blossoming into brilliant colors in the sky. You can't do this, The swordsman was filled with panic. No matter who you are, you must die today. Broken sky. Kang Chon's eyes were incomparably cold. The icy cold blade onnings ****** came and ruthlessly cleaved at this swordsman. And there was a shocking explosion, and the terrifying energy exploded, forming a storm of energy. Boom, boom, boom. At the same time, the other 4 people's attacks also descended on Kang Chon, instantly blasting Kang Chon into the magma on the ground and disappearing. Although the 4 people had struck Kang Chon, everyone's hearts were incredibly heavy, because at this moment, that swordsman was already dead. His body had been cleaved in half by Kang Chon's sword, completely and utterly scattering his soul. So strong, Lin Ying couldn't even block a single slash from him. If it was one-on-one, none of us would be his opponent. One of them was shocked. I didn't realize that besides Zhao Wuji, the great Tang country still had such a strong person. I'm afraid he's not much worse than that Zhao Wuji. Another person was also filled with shock. There's also that person. Suddenly, the 4 of them fell into silence, each of their faces filled with fear. That person is very scary. I swear I never want to meet him again. Half a minute later, one person said with a trembling heart, and the other 3 all had palpitating faces. Boom. Right at this moment, a scorching hot air wave rose up to the sky. On top stood a proud figure. He held a long black sword. His eyes were cold as he looked at the 4 people on top of the lonely peak. The 4 were shocked. They didn't expect Kang Chon to recover so quickly after suffering a joint strike from them. I'll give you one more chance. Who exactly sent you? Kang Chon said coldly, his icy blade pointing towards the 4 people on the lonely peak, a stern light appearing in his eyes. At this moment, the 4 people simultaneously felt a powerful intent locking onto them, causing a death-like threat to instantly rise in their hearts. The 4 people glanced at each other before simultaneously striking out and killing towards Kang Chon. Since you guys are looking for death, it's not my fault. Kang Chon no longer spoke much and crossed his sword to kill. The unrivaled blade-ons raged through the sky. The blazing light dazzled. The entire sky was filled with light. Before the blades all arrived, a terrifying intention coalesced in the sky, transforming into an icy blade that instantly killed. Boom! The 4 people's bodies immediately trembled as the powerful intent attack caused their faces to turn red, followed by a mouthful of blood being violently sprayed out. 50% intent, surprisingly 50% intent. One of them wiped off the blood from the corner of his mouth and roared. The others were also filled with shock, their eyes revealing a look of incredulity, as Kang Chon's 50% idea attack instantly caused their minds to suffer a heavy blow. Die. Kang Qian indifferently drank slowly as he held a long black blade, carrying a matchless blade that swept in like a rushing flood, instantly submerging the four people. Fight! The four roared. Then all of them sacrificed their 9 revolutions golden pills, and instantly blazing light erupted in the sky, like 4 bright suns, emitting a dazzling light.